Once again, we are back with another Shacknews Game of the Year 2022 deliberation. Over the years, voice acting has become quite important in the world of video games, and it has gotten better and better over the years. And now we're at a point of extremely high quality, both in terms of audio fidelity and in terms of talent. The quality of the people doing the voice acting, the roles they play are on par a lot of times with the things you see in big budget Hollywood movies. Heck, some of these people have even done big budget Hollywood movies. But I digress. We're here to nominate and deliberate and vote on the best voice actor. Let's get right into it. All right, we have a lot of good nominations. But I don't even know where to begin. Greg, why don't we start with you, because you've talked about this dude in a couple categories already.
Yeah, I think that Dan Aykroyd definitely deserves nomination. He may not win, but I think it's just so. It's a really interesting time in our society where people are coming back, replacing their roles, bringing back characters that have been long not been in the media for a long, long time, and to see Dan come back and really give it his all to the character again, really, absolutely, just nail it from the 1989 and 1984 films is really special. I think when he was talking, I was like, I want him to keep talking because he talks about his the past and the future, what the future holds, and you're always interacting with him, and he really gives it his all. He's really trying his best, and he didn't have to, right? He could have easily said no thanks, or I want $10 million, or hire a sound alike, which a lot of these big celebrities usually do. They hire like people who sound like them, like Tom Hanks uses his brother for a bunch of stuff, but he did it, and it wasn't just a few lines here and there and there. It's a big script. There's a story here, and he actually talks quite a lot. He was in the VO booth for quite a while, and I just think for someone who didn't have to do that, or someone who'd come in and do it half-assed because they're tired of people liking IP that's 31 years old or 38 years old at this point. He really does give it his all, and he sounds great. Dan Aykroyd's pushing 60, he's getting old, and he sounds fantastic. But I just think it deserves nomination because he's so passionate about that character, and he's always been passionate about Ghostbusters, and it's great to see him come in and give it his all.
Greg, that was a great argument, and I hear you, but I have a checklist of 3 criteria that I expect voice actors to meet. I'm going to go through these, and you stop me if Dan Aykroyd meets any of these qualifications. Is he Vengeance? Is he the Knight? Is he Batman?
He Batman.
Kevin Conroy is my Batman. I think a lot of people can say that. And, Multiversus, he always brings his A game to voicing Batman, but Multiversus I think will always be a little special because it was his last performance as the Batman. I think he did a great job. I think that if I recall correctly, the reveal trailer for Multiversus made a point of having Batman speak. And that was deliberate, I feel like, because that was the developer's way of saying, hey, we got the people you expected us to get, which is something that Nickelodeon Smash alike last year did not do, right? That was the big thing. If you're going to make a Smash Brothers style brawler, you need the talent, the voice talent behind these. Even Maisie Williams as Arya Stark was important. You wouldn't think it would be important in a Smash Brothers style fighting game, but it really is. And having Kevin Conroy voice Batman one more time and give it his A game once again just makes him, for me, an easy nomination this year.
Yeah.
Such a fun performance too, because we've heard him do the serious Batman plenty of times, but in Multiversus you're hearing him do voice lines about hitting Shaggy with the Batarang and the Tasmanian Devil being slobbery. It's really funny to hear how they work him.
He's very serious about that, Donovan. Make no mistake. He is Vengeance and the Knight and Super Serial in this game. Make no mistake.
It really does elevate it, though. It sells the whole multiversal crossover. His performance is definitely the backbone of that.
Yeah, it was I don't know. That's Batman kind of sold me on the game because it's Batman's my main in that game. Batman is the commentator voice I have on. Like it's like every little thing for me in that game is Batman. And yeah, and like yeah, when you say Kevin Conroy is my Batman, when you read a Batman comic, you don't hear Christian Bale be like, I am freaking Batman. No, you hear
I'm not a
Kevin Con.
filibuster because I like the voice, but I get your point. I get the sentiment.
Yeah, but like I hear Kevin Conroy as Batman when I read the comic
Yeah.
book in my head. He's the Batman that most of us have grown up with. He's probably played Batman longer than anybody else, like on and off, and like more roles than anybody. Like he's outlasted like Ben Affleck. He's like Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney. Yeah, he has been Batman more consistently than any of these people for a few decades now. And yeah, it was a real losing him this year is a real bummer. It would have been a bummer anytime it happened, but just a real kicker at the end of the year here.
I haven't played a lot of Multiverses. Can someone like clarify like how much of his Donovan? You mentioned it a little bit in another debate, but like how much of his voice acting is it? Like, are we talking like full on blown commentary, like grunts and groans and like one liners? Or are we talking like he says, "Wow, that fighter really has gotten him or herself in quite a predicament." Like, what's the level of like voice acting in Multiverses, specifically with Kevin Conroy?
I mean, there's just voice lines that trigger when you do certain moves, when you get hit, when you pick him on the character select screen, when you win, lose matches, victory screen, defeat, all that. And like Blake mentioned, you can get him as your announcer, so he'll talk when someone gets knocked out or the round's ending or you tie or whatever. So he's very prevalent.
Yeah. Would anyone else like to talk about Kevin Conroy and how great he is?
Very funny hearing like Batman with a straight face, or like at least like play it completely straight as he says contextual things like beating up Shaggy and saying, "Eat battering, hippie." It's like it's it's really funny and weird at the same time, and it just speaks to how well Kevin Conroy owned that voice.
All right. We have a few more nominations to get through before we give this one to Kevin Conroy. But who else would like to nominate someone? Bill.
And this is I think I'm leaning towards where everyone else is leaning, honestly, but this stood out to me every time I played the game this year. Ashley Birch is no stranger to being a fantastic voice actor and incredible performances in every game, but boy, was Tiny Tina a hoot. And yeah, I'm strategically deploying the word hoot in hopes of, but it was an absolute hoot, and just the delivery was perfect. There was such a range to the way that she played the character, and I absolutely adored every minute of it. And I just felt like not mentioning that performance during this voice actor award would have been a disservice. So, yes.
Yeah. No, I think Tiny Tina is something that Birch did like really early on in her like career too, and it sort of helped like get her more work in a lot of ways. I'm not saying it's like all she did, but yeah, like Tiny Tina is definitely like one of her most iconic roles, if not the most iconic role for her. She also voiced
Blind. Yeah, she went in blind to audition for that role. They didn't know who she was, the actors, because her brother writes for the Borderlands series. Was the original writer for the Borderlands series? Excuse me.
No, he wrote Borderlands 2, I believe.
Oh, the 2. Okay.
Yeah, and she's in Borderlands 2. I'm not saying it was like nepotism.
No, I'm not either. That's what I'm saying. It was a blind. Yeah, it was cool that they casted her because she was the perfect fit for the character. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, she was also Aloy this year, right? Yeah, that's two opposite ends of the spectrum right there as far as characters go.
And as far as video games are concerned, I love her in Mythic Quest. If you watch that,
yeah. It's another good one.
I saw the first season of that. I haven't caught any of the next couple of seasons, but
I think that Tiny Tina's Wonderland's performance set the bar for what you expect from your dungeon master. Like that was pretty good. But yeah.
good nomination, Bill. Let's keep going down the line here. Who would like to?
Yeah. I went with Atreus and specifically Sonny Suljic. Not only did that dude put out a excellent performance as Atreus in God of War, he had to fight puberty during that role, which that is not an easy battle to fight as a voice actor. That's like and he had some help. They did like do some de-aging on his voice a little bit in editing and production, but like still to be able to voice the character as if you just literally came off of the events of the 2018 game and deliver that, like, not only like the character of Atreus but also the growth of Atreus over the course of the game so well. That's like that's an impressive thing to do. Sonny really did a good job of hiding just how much he's aged in Ragnarok. And I mean that also goes to Santa Monica as well, but like you can't take it away from Sonny that he still put on an incredible performance and made that character all the more real, even as he was dealing with puberty over the last few years.
I mean, I found
And they pitch shift some of it, right?
Yeah, they raised his octaves a little bit, yeah. But I found him not all the time, but sometimes I still find him a tad like annoying, kind of whiny, kind of like Luke Skywalker 1977 whiny. You know,
He's
like,
a teenager though.
yeah, I know. I was gonna
That's
pick
a good thing.
power converters, man.
Like if you're finding a teenager's like voice and delivery of voice lines annoying, then that's like a point in their favor. Because like that's what I get conveyed every time I talk to a teenager is like, wow, that's annoying. So great.
What you're saying is nailed it.
Nailed it. I'm annoyed. You did well.
All right, who would like to throw out their next nomination? Let's see. Morgan, do you want to throw your nomination out there?
Sure, I'll throw mine in. Well, I do think that this is going to go to Kevin Conroy as it should. I also wanted to nominate Jennifer Hale. I think she was in a kind of a tricky position this year with voice acting Bayonetta with all that controversy going on. I think she handled that really well, from her statements, and her performance I thought was great. I also love the fact that, and this is just a nod to the voice actress for Viola, but she did a charity fundraiser for trans rights, which I thought was really great after the original voice actress did like donate to like anti-abortion thing. It was just a whole mess. There was just a whole mess surrounding that game, and I think that with that, I don't know, I respected Jennifer Hale's work. I think she did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate that the previous voice actor was extremely misleading about the treated, and that somehow Jennifer Hale had to deal with the backlash for that. And you know how the internet gets toxic super quick, so that's never any fun.
I thought it was,
but also
I thought she was great in that game, and but I also like I wouldn't. I mean, I would have called it controversy at first, but I loved how Platinum Games was like, "Oh, you want to throw down? Okay, we can do this," and they just totally like discredited that actress so quickly. Like it was really bad. Did not look good for her. I'm happy that Jennifer Hale came in and gave it her all. Especially like I'm used to her seeing her stuff like I can't remember Mass Effect. She wasn't British in Mass Effect, right? She was just played American accent, and then she did British in Bayonetta, and it was flawless. Like it was hard to tell like that was an American actor if she is an American actor.
Yeah, I just love Bayonetta as well. Such a great character. Probably a lot of fun to play. And yeah, probably would have been getting my vote this year if other things hadn't happened. We have a few more nominations here. Who would like to go next?
I'm gonna give a shout out to Sayabon Williams in The Quarry. She plays Laura. It's the first character you play as. I spoke in a previous category about how these games have a cinematic quality to them, and a lot of that's because of the voice and motion performances, which she does both in this game. And her character specifically has to do a lot, and they asked a lot of her as a performer in that game, and I think that she kills it. A lot of the game rides on her back.
Nice. She's just a regular old actress out there doing actress things in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, there's also a musician, I believe.
I mean, who isn't nowadays? You can't just. Oh, you're not a musician, David? That's why you're not in Hollywood.
That's exactly why. I
You
played
have to
drums
be.
and trumpet back in the day, but it's
Yet.
been a hot minute.
If you were David Craddock, writer / musician, Hollywood all the way.
Boy, I wish I
blew
would have
it.
realized that
You
before I
blew
turned
it.
40.
You
Yeah,
blew it. It's never too late for now, though.
that's true.
All right. Let's see. I think we have one more nomination here. I think that is yours, Sam.
Yeah, I believe so. And I think that Ozzy and myself were sort of on the same page here. I noted that he also had Christopher Judge down as Kratos for his nomination. There's something to be said about the character of Kratos. We all know him as this like really angry man who has just rage bubbling below the surface or just right on the surface and spilling out. And for Christopher Judge to not only develop that character emotionally from the first game into the second, but continue to show that bubbling rage below the surface as he wrestles with the realization that his son is no longer just like this infant that he can tell, boy, go do this, go do that. It's this person who he needs to talk with and understand and follow and sort of like grow alongside of. And the way that he's able to deliver some of these lines and the relationship between Atreus and Kratos is like really touching and heartfelt. And I found myself like welling up with emotions at numerous points throughout the story as Kratos and their relationship. It's like, you know, it harkens back to elements of my own relationship with my own father. And, you know, some people will resonate with their own parental figure or someone in their life whom they looked up to and have grown with and, you know, wrestled with. And more than just like the voice acting, it's also his performance as a whole. Seeing his facial features move as he like tries to control himself or wrestles with some emotion that is otherwise unfamiliar to him. And yeah, his performance just knocked my socks off.
Fair enough. I think that's a good nomination. And yeah, he does a great job. I believe he won before for Shack
yeah?
News, hasn't he?
Oh,
Am I thinking right? Didn't he win for the last God of War game?
It's 4 years
No.
ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Can't remember what I did last week, like let alone 4 years ago.
That's true. You know what? Me neither.
that's a good.
I'm looking it up. I'm checking.
Yeah. So it was 2018, wasn't it?
Was that that was 2018?
That was Roger Clark, I believe, won.
Oh,
Yeah, I
never
don't think
His
he
mind.
did.
role.
I think the thing was he
His
said was
role
saying
in Red
boy
Dead.
too much. It was really kind of got a little repetitive, which is why I
Oh,
didn't say
mate,
it all in the second one.
Oh, also
That's-
Arthur Morgan was an incredible character.
There we go. All right. Well, never mind then. Great nominations this year. All very excellent performances. But there can be only one best voice actor of 2022. David, let's start with you.
Great nominations this year, but my heart is with Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Donovan.
I'll vote for Kevin Conroy in Multiversus.
Greg.
I'll do God, God, that's so like you look behind me. It's really divisive. What do I want to do? Let's do Kevin Conroy. Yeah.
TJ.
Yeah, my heart says Kevin Conroy.
Morgan.
Kevin Conroy.
Bill.
Kevin Conroy.
Sam.
Yeah, it's a tough one this year. I think I need to stick with my nomination, even though I do want to vote for Kevin Conroy. I think Christopher Judge, what he did, like resonated with. Yeah,
That's fair, Sam. We know that they hate Batman in Australia because he stops criminals. So
that's exactly
you
right.
know. Yeah, I'm voting for Kevin Conroy. Myself. Denny, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna go with Kevin too.
All right. And I know that Asif voted for Kevin Conroy as well. And Ozzy voted for Christopher Judge as Kratos. Well, there you have it. Not too shocking this time around, but we all know Kevin Conroy, for his last performance as Batman in Multiverses, is the winner of Best Voice Actor here at Shacknews 2022.
Computer, what's my location? Computer,